Hey everybody, this is my first video on the channel. I wanted to keep it simple, do a simple cutting board video. It's for my grandmother for Mother's Day. My mom already has one, so I don't think she needs another one, multiple cutting boards. So I figured I'd take this chance to build one for my grandmother. Been working for a minute. I figured why not put this on YouTube, see if anybody else gets anything from it. I know there's a ton of cutting board videos out there, but I figured it would be a very simple one for me to start the channel off. It's going to be a walnut cutting board. I'm going to try to weave a design into it with some hard maple, some thin strip hard maple, and we'll see how it goes. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it does well. I hope people will enjoy it, and I hope I can make more in the future. So let's get to building this walnut cutting board. This is all just kind of getting my pieces laid out, getting a rough look of what it's going to look like before I break it down into my desired dimensions, getting a feel for all the edges and seeing where I kind of want it to go. This is me setting my table saw to somewhere around 3 inches. I'm not quite for sure if it was 3 inches after recording this, but I like to make everything just a little proud so I can really get that thicker dimension before it's all said and done, which is also one reason why I love making edge grain cutting boards, because it allows you to really hone in on that, thicker dimension. Just makes it a little bit easier. Now that we're done cutting all the boards down to our desired thickness, we take it over here to the miter saw, and now we're going to cut it down to length. I don't remember exactly the number I had in mind, but I think it was somewhere around 18 inches. I'm not quite for sure, but it turned out well. This is kind of like I did before, but I get a better idea now that I've got everything cut down to size about which board, looks best in certain spots. I kind of want, the sapwood to really shine on the top and the darker toned woods at the bottom. Speaking of sapwood, that's a good looking piece. Now I'm going to strike a line down the middle and number each board in the orientation that I think looks best. Now we're going to take all of those strips over the jointer and joint all the faces. So hopefully, foreshadowing, that there will be a nice easy fit for the glue up. But first, we have to wax our machinery. Fun fact is, I make my own wax. But it's not that hard.
Now I'm getting all my pieces back together. It's a good thing I put numbers on them. Makes it that much easier during this process. I'm going to make sure all my seams line up with a few pre-clamps. And as for the foreshadowing, there was one bad seam. That wasn't too bad. Bad enough, though. Back to the joiner. While we have a little time while I'm gluing this thing up, does anybody else, get a little bit of anxiety when they're gluing things up? Am I gonna make it in time? Am I gonna screw this up? Am I gonna put enough glue? Too much glue? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I feel like glue ups give me anxiety. Maybe by a show of virtual hands. Do glue ups make you anxious? Or is it just me? It's probably just me. This is my first time resawing, and I chose to start with hard maple because I'm smart like that. I'm just kidding. Hard maple is hard to work with, pun intended, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Also, my bandsaw is a little underpowered, but it got it done. Nice glue up, Michael. Now we're gonna have to fix this mess. We're terrible. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. This is terrible.
Get to where you can clear the corner on that second. I guess I meant to say like new tees on holes that we have played as well. New tees and changing too. Yep. It's the whole assortment. It's a mixed bag. That hole one has lost the lead first time since he gained it back middle of round one.
Now, After my precise measurements of 2 coordinates and a little bit of the Fibonacci sequence, I'm going to draw my weave, otherwise known as a random squiggly line. I'm no artist, especially on a wobbly, raw walnut cutting board. Time for another smart decision of mine, thinking that this bandsaw can cut through this thick board. I had plans for this build, and it included cutting this thing with this bandsaw.
Back a little bit, and it's not always easy.
Plans did not go
He
accordingly.
does that quite a bit. But
I had to resort to different measures.
once again, Ricky into this. Look at how many 30s he has. Where I did this third player deal. Maybe it's the fact that this course has a lot of long, demanding shots, but I feel like I'm seeing a lot higher number of sights forehands at the lead card level. Line down the left side, full away, really two mandatory.
Alright, this thing's been sitting for a day and a half, I think. Had to sit it to the side before I could work on it again. Seems to have turned out well, so we're going to get it out of clamps and see what it looks like. As of right now, everything looks okay. There's a few gaps there, but maybe it'll get planed out in the end. We're going to get it out of these clamps and see.
Everybody plays background music in their videos. Maybe I should do. Cue the music. Wait. I wouldn't want you to miss my other sweet drawing. I'm just kidding. Back to the music.
Alright, now that we got that done, I really would have liked to have done this with my bandsaw, but my bandsaw is just not powerful enough to withstand that, so I had to do with the jigsaw. It's a little bit more raw, but it seems to have done the job with the first weave, so now we're going to do the second weave. I'm going to sand this down a little bit, put this in, and then we'll clamp it together and get for glue up number 2. So this thing shimmed up with some hot glue, and it's not wobbling anymore. We got the high side filled. We're going to plane it now and see if we can't get one flat side, and then we'll take it off this and then run it through again until both sides are flat, and then we'll continue after that. Let's do it. Alright, now that we got one side flat, and it seems like everything's pretty good, I'm gonna have to fill some stuff here. But no big deal. Everything looks good. Nothing that we can't sand down during the final process. And then we're gonna take it off the sled and do the other side. So here we go. So taking the shims off. This shim should just pop right off. The hot glue. Kind of peel them back. Any excess hot glue you got, just kind of take a chisel and scrape it off a little bit. Comes off pretty easy. We'll clean up the sled later, but this will all come off only. Cross cut it. Let's see. There you go. Now we'll take the other flat side, which should be flat. Let's check it out. Put it on the spots. Actually, let's take this off. Let's see it up here. Take these off, these back. I'm the worst at putting tools back where they belong. I know probably a bunch of people are as well. Well, maybe not. Many people are more organized than I give them credit for. I'm not. Also, if anybody wants to know how to make a planer sled, I might make one. I know there's plenty of videos out there that have tutorials on how to make a planer sled. It's pretty easy. But let me know. I don't know. I don't even know what this channel consists of. I just know I like building stuff and I'm here hanging out with you guys. So let's see if this thing's flat. What do you say? Oh yeah. So we have it flat, perfectly flat. Now we'll do this side through the planer again. So let's get after it. So what I like to do here is I like to barely get it down to the surface, and I want the dial to barely move. I'm not trying to take off a ton of material at a time. So. So there we go. I don't know if anybody can see it, but we have two flat sides. Weave looks good. All right, now that we got both sides flat, we're going to go to the jointer. We're going to joint one edge. Then we're going to do the table saw to copy that edge. And then we're going to go back to the table saw to cross cut the ends. So let's joint one of the edges.
Alright, now that we got all the sides done and squared up, we're going to put a edge on this thing. We're going to put a chamfer on the edges on both sides, and we're going to sand it down real good. We're going to get rid of some of these burn marks on the side, and then we're going to put the finish on it. So let's get to doing the edge. Alright, now that we got all the sides done, got them chamfered up, we're just going to do what nobody likes doing, and we're going to sand this down. We're going to start at 80, work our way up to 120 and then 220. Then we'll water pop it, then we'll hit it with 220 again, and then we'll be done. Now that we got the water on, we're going to give it a little bit to dry. I'm just going to kind of go over it lightly with a towel, kind of speed up the process a little bit. Just kind of, just barely go over it with the rag. And we'll give it a second to dry, and then we'll hit it again with some 220. Alright, so now that it's semi-dry from the water, we're going to sand it one more time at 220, and then we're going to put the finish on it. So let's get after it.
My camera decided it didn't want to record this part. I don't know if it was a corrupt file or what, but it didn't record this part. I caught a glimpse of me putting the mineral oil on the board. But yes, I do finish it with mineral oil. I let it soak for about 2 hours. Maybe not that long, but a good while. And then, after that, I put my homemade board butter, as you would call it, or board wax. And it consists of several things. I do it a little different than most people, but maybe I'll give my secret if I get enough takers. But anyway, enjoy the finishing touches on this squiggly line board. I'm just kidding. This woven cutting board. Anyway, enough jokes aside. If you stayed this long in the video, I really appreciate you watching. And I hope that I can make more videos like this. Maybe even some more builds. I love building everything, not just cutting boards. Even though I do love cutting boards. But I really appreciate everybody watching. And maybe I'll see you on the next one.